Hello. Here Fashion and Style. Today we will learn the history of a great fashion company, so sit back and enjoy this video. Dolce & Gabbana is an Italian fashion brand. It was founded by Domenico Dolce and Stefano Gabbana. Although they initially began designing clothing, the company has currently diversified its offering, designing glasses, watches, rings, and perfumes. The company's headquarters are located in Milan. Domenico Dolce was born on August 13, 1958 in Polizzi Generosa, Sicily. Stefano Gabbana was born on November 14, 1962 in Milan. The history of Dolce & Gabbana begins in 1980 when Stefano Gabbana and Domenico Dolce were in Milan. In search of new opportunities, Domenico leaves Sicily at the end of 1970 and begins working as an assistant to the designer Giorgio Correggiari. Meeting Stefano in a nightclub, the shy Dolce was impressed by his outgoing personality and encourages him to seek work with Correggiari. Stefano was then hired by the artist to work on his sportswear collection, and Dolce began teaching him how to design and sew. In 1983, they left Correggiari's studio and began working as freelancers. The first collection was exhibited in October 1985 along with 5 other new Italian brands as part of Milan Fashion Week. Neither of them had money to hire models, so they asked their friends for help. The models simply used their personal effects to complement the outfit. Since its origin in 1985, the Dolce & Gabbana brand has carried a feminine and daring aesthetic in its DNA. The combination of religious symbols and sensuality has become a signature of the brand, which uses and abuses extravagant prints and floral motifs to express its style, known as the New Mediterranean. The two designers called their first collection Real Women, due in part to the use of amateur women on the runway. Sales of her first collection were disappointing, so Gabbana canceled the order of fabrics for the creation of her second collection. Since the fabric company had not received the cancellation notice in time, the fabric was ready in Milan by the time they returned. They created their next collection in 1986 and opened their own fashion house that same year. They called their collection of cotton t-shirts and stretched silk scraps Transformation. His fourth collection was the first to make a significant impact on the Italian fashion market. In this collection, Dolce was inspired by her Sicilian roots. Rubenstein described the piece in 2012, writing, "The Sicilian dress is the essence of Dolce & Gabbana, the brand's sartorial reference point." In 1987 they launched a separate line of knitwear, and in 1989 they began designing a lingerie line and a beachwear line. Then, in 1990, they launched their first men's collection. That year they also moved their design house to their first official offices and began designing suits and other more expensive pieces in addition to their original garments. Their spring-summer 1990 women's collection referenced Raphael's mythological painting, and the duo began to build a reputation in crystal-encrusted clothing. The women's fall-winter 1991 collection was also adorned with charms, including filigree medals and ornate corsets. The women's autumn-winter 1992 collection was later inspired by the 1950s film screen. What is considered her first foray into international recognition occurred when Madonna wore a corset made of precious stones and an accompanying jacket by Dolce & Gabbana for the premiere of Truth or Dare, in bed with Madonna at the 1990 Cannes Film Festival. The duo then teamed up with Madonna in 1993 to design over 1,500 outfits for her international girly show tour. In 1996, the D&G show was shown only on the internet, responding to an experimental movement towards new media. That year he also designed the costumes for the film Romeo and Juliet. As for the film industry, both Dolce & Gabbana appeared in the 1995 film L'Uomo del Stelle by director Giuseppe Tornatore in minor roles. They performed more significant guest roles in the adaptation of Rob Marshall's film, 9. As stylists, they also worked on the music video Girl Panic by Duran Duran. Regarding the expansion of its market in the 1990s, in 1989 Dolce & Gabbana signed an agreement with the Kashiyama Group to open its first boutique in Japan. They launched their first fragrance for women in 1992, called Dolce & Gabbana Parfum, which received the 1993 Perfume Academy Award for Best Women's Fragrance of the Year. His first fragrance for men, Dolce & Gabbana Pour Homme, received the award from the same Academy for the Best Men's Fragrance of the Year in 1995. That year the Dolce & Gabbana collections caused controversy in the English and Italian press by selecting to the American Gangster as inspiration for their work. Dolce & Gabbana transferred this fall-winter 1995 inspiration to women's clothing, which, according to critics, provided an erotic streak to the garments. In 1992, photographer Steven Meisel shot an advertising campaign for the house in which models posed in an elegant gangster style. Dolce & Gabbana continued to work with Madonna, designing outfits for her 2001 international tour. They also designed outfits for the international tours of Missy Elliott, Beyoncé, and Mary J. Blige. In 1999, the duo appeared on The Oprah Winfrey Show in support of singer Whitney Houston. Dolce & Gabbana continued to design outfits for musical artists throughout the 2000s. In the 2000s, Dolce & Gabbana was greatly inspired by football. In 2003, the men's line took its main inspiration from the world's biggest soccer stars. Other forms of art were also inspired by Dolce & Gabbana. In 2003, dance music artist Frankie Knuckles said that the fashion house was a great barometer of trends in both the fashion and music worlds. The New Yorker reported in 2005 that Dolce & Gabbana are becoming, in the 2000s, what Prada was in the 1990s and Armani was in the 1980s. Both 1996 and 1997 Dolce & Gabbana, they were named by FHM as Designers of the Year. In 2003, GQ named Dolce & Gabbana among its Men of the Year. The following year, readers of Elle magazine voted Dolce & Gabbana as the best international designers at the 2004 Elle Style Awards. Dolce & Gabbana celebrated the 20th anniversary of their brand on June 19, 2012 in Piazza della Scala and at the Palazzo Marino in Milan. In 2005, the two designers broke up romantically, although they continued designing together, because according to Stefano, they work very well together and understand each other very well. Dolce & Gabbana had two main lines, D&G and Dolce & Gabbana, until 2012, when they merged under the Dolce & Gabbana name. Dolce & Gabbana, written without spaces, unlike the company name, specializes in luxury items influenced more by designers, and is more formal and timeless, responding to long-term trends as well as seasonal changes. It also sells sunglasses and corrective lenses, bracelets, watches, and makeup. D&G is a casual line that follows an urban inspiration. It is the brand's most youthful and extravagant diffusion line. Unlike Dolce & Gabbana, D&G sells watches and clothing. The first D&G collection for men was launched in January 1994, and the first D&G collection for women was launched in April. Other lines, Dolce & Gabbana created a bridal collection, but only between 1992 and 1998. The Dolce & Gabbana home collection, started in 1994, was also discontinued in 1999. The first women's beachwear collection was developed in 1989, followed by the first men's beachwear collection in 1992. D&G launched a line of eyewear in 1998 and a line of watches in 2000. That same year, D&G launched a collection of underwear for both men and women, independent of the Dolce & Gabbana lingerie collection. In 2001, the D&G Junior line for children was launched. In 2006, the duo launched the Animalier line of leopard print accessories for women, and in 2007, they launched a line of crocodile travel cases for men. In 2009, they launched their first line of color cosmetics, with Scarlett Johansson as the face of the advertising campaign. Dolce & Gabbana launched their first line of fine jewelry in late 2011. It has received several awards for its fragrances. Dolce & Gabbana has designed AC Milan's on-field uniform since 2004. Additionally, the duo also designed the suits used by the Italian football team off the field of play. In 2010, Dolce & Gabbana signed a 3-year agreement with Chelsea Football Club. Dolce & Gabbana is also a sponsor of the Italian boxing team, Milano Thunder. In 2006, Dolce & Gabbana partnered with Motorola to produce the Motorola V3i Dolce & Gabbana cell phone. Then, in 2009, Dolce & Gabbana partnered with Sony Ericsson to produce a version of its Giallo cell phone line with 24-karat gold accents and with the fashion house's logo stamped on the co-designed piece. Dolce & Gabbana also partnered with Citroën to co-design a version of its C3 Plurial car. In 2010, Dolce & Gabbana partnered with Martini to produce a gold edition of its Vermouth. In 2010, the fashion house partnered with the singer Madonna to launch a co-designed line of sunglasses called MDG. The commercial created for Dolce & Gabbana's first women's fragrance aired for several years in Italy and was created by filmmaker Giuseppe Tornatore, scored by Ennio Morricone, and starring actress Monica Bellucci. In 2003, the Sicily perfume by Dolce & Gabbana was publicized by another surreal commercial about a Sicilian funeral, which was also directed by Giuseppe Tornatore. Another popular commercial for the brand is Light Blue, featuring model David Gandy and photographer Mario Testino. Located in Capri, Italy, Gisele Bündchen starred in the 2006 commercial for the one fragrance. Dolce & Gabbana has won 2 lead awards for its campaigns. The main source of inspiration and cradle of the Dolce & Gabbana style is Sicily. Sicilia represents the identity of the brand. Originally inspired by the eclectic bohemian thrift store, Dolce & Gabbana's brightly colored animal prints have been described as haute hippie dame, taking particular inspiration from the prestigious history of Italian cinema. The D&G brand includes underwear as streetwear, striped gangster boss suits, and jackets with extravagant prints. Once called Gilbert and George of Italian fashion. In addition to designing clothing, Dolce & Gabbana have co-authored approximately 24 books featuring photographic narratives as well as collections of their authorship. The profits from many of these books go to charity. The company also has production factories in Legnano and Incisa in Val d'Arno. Dolce & Gabbana has a wide network of boutiques distributed throughout the world, specifically in Europe, Asia, North America, and South America. I invite you to leave your like, subscribe. Thanks for seeing us.